Let's talk about the election now, 28 days away. Kamala Harris is doing some more interviews, but she is choosing very friendly outlets like today, where she sat down on The View.
Go get your father.
A great time as a major storm barrels towards Florida. What about the message that sends? Pleased to bring in right now senior advisor for the Trump 2016 campaign and manager there, Corey Lewandowski. Corey, welcome in. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Kamala Harris accusing Governor DeSantis of playing political games. He seems to be kind of getting ready for a massive event. She is laughing it up and yucking it up with the ladies from The View. What do you make of sort of these lightweight interviews? She's now going to do the Late Show with Stephen Colbert, who's on Call Her Daddy, obviously pandering to maybe some young college-age women here. Is this going to be effective for her trying to win those independent voters?
Well, it's not surprising. Look, Vice President Harris and Governor Walz have, by and large, avoided all the tough interviews for the last 2 months now. And the reason is because every time they speak to the American people are less inclined to support them. Look, Kamala Harris sat down and did one interview with 60 Minutes. She received a little bit of pushback, but even that was, by and large, a softball interview. And Governor Walz did one Sunday show where he was questioned a few times and didn't have any answers. So, going on The View, doing Howard Stern, doing Stephen Colbert, these are not the hard-hitting interviews that Donald Trump and Senator Vance have done over the course of the last many months, and for that matter, many years. So, we are very pleased with where the campaign stands right now. As you know, President Trump was in Butler, Pennsylvania this last weekend. It was a massive rally. We are back on the campaign trail again tomorrow in Michigan. He'll be giving a speech at the Detroit Economic Club. We'll be traveling Thursday, Friday, every day this week, and we continue to bring our message directly to the American people.
Yeah, it was a huge turnout in Butler, and obviously Elon and the dark MAGA and the freedom of speech. A great message, I think, that truly resonated for people who know and understand the gravity of what's at stake for our nation. I do want to play a little bit of 60 Minutes, as you mentioned. She was pressed a little, especially on the border, which we know is such a huge concern now because of their policies that reversed Donald Trump's policies that were working on day one. This is what she was asked, and here's her response.
As a matter of fact, arrivals quadrupled from the last year of President Trump. Was it a mistake to loosen the immigration policies as much as you did?
It's a long-standing problem, and solutions are at hand. And from day one, literally, we have been offering solutions.
I think the solutions they've been offering were for the illegals who need to get prepaid debit cards and housing. What is she talking about, Corey?
Well, she refuses to acknowledge the 13,099 convicted murderers who've been let into this country, almost the 16,000 rapists, the 425,000 plus individuals who've come in who have criminal convictions. She refuses to acknowledge the names of the Americans who've been killed by the illegals who've poured into this country, or the burden it has put on our economy, on our healthcare system, on our schools, et cetera. She has been named the border czar. She called the wall a vanity project. And only now in the last 45 days of the campaign has she decided to change her tune, because the issue of illegal immigration is second only to the issue of the economy on the American people's minds. And she knows that she has to now change her position if she has any chance of being successful. I think the American people are too smart, and they know Donald Trump will keep them safe.
Safe here, and also a world on fire. We marked October 7th yesterday, Donald Trump, with some very poignant ceremonies. And, there's this new book Bob Woodward puts out, and it's just some excerpts. His book is called War, and there's a report in the book where Biden called Bibi Netanyahu some, expletives. We're not going to say them, obviously, and we're going to, X them out here. That type of rhetoric, that type of animosity towards the leader of Israel as they are fighting for their existence, and in many ways fighting Iran, which wants to destroy America as well. How does that sit with you, Corey? And how do you think that should sit with Jewish voters, particularly, who have tended to go Democratic before, but this time around, knowing that sitting president, Joe Biden, had that type of contempt for Netanyahu?
Well, it's shameful. And listen, Israel is our greatest ally in the Middle East, maybe our greatest ally in the world, and we must do everything we can to help her defend herself We have seen Israel under attack from others and now direct attacks from Iran. I hope that their response is swift and decisive when that occurs. But this week, again, Vice President Harris could not recognize the fact that Israel is one of our greatest allies and that Netanyahu is a strong leader for his people. So, it is a tale of two campaigns. Donald Trump has been the best friend Israel has ever had in the White House. Joe Biden and Vice President Harris have been its biggest enemy. And, they continue to ask, meaning Harris does, for restraint for Israel as it returns the atrocities that have been committed against her. And it has been 1 year yesterday. It was 1 year to the day of, and we still have American hostages taking place, sitting there. We still have Israeli hostages. And when does Israel have the right to defend herself? If Donald Trump was in the White House, this attack never would have occurred, and Israel would have all the resources she needs to protect herself.
Yeah, and now here we go. So they're going to offer assistance to Lebanon, $157 million, a couple million to the folks ravaged by Helene. We have another storm. There's crisis here at home. People are hurting. And they seem to now realize that they had to course correct, and maybe the optics of Joe Biden at the beach weren't that good. Maybe the optics of him leaving, going to Angola, were not that good. The fact that they're doing that seems like they're changing the strategy, many say, because, in fact, she's losing.
She is losing, but when you're giving more money to people overseas than you are people in this own country, it flies in the face of something called America First. America First doesn't mean America alone, but it is an obligation of this government to take care of our people in Western North Carolina, in Augusta, Georgia, in Florida that have been ravished by these devastating hurricanes. And it looks like, Ashley Moody just talked about, another hurricane is about to crush the state of Florida. So the fact that we're giving foreign aid, more money to foreign aid than we are people in our own country, shows that everything with this administration is upside down. And if Donald Trump was in the White House, it would be the exact opposite. We'd be taking care of the people first who pay their taxes. And if there are resources left over, then and only then do people around the world get our large yes. But in the meantime, it's an America First agenda under the Trump administration, and under the Harris-Walz administration, it's everybody but America First.
We'll see what she says to Stephen Colbert later in those hard-hitting interviews. Corey Lewandowski, great to have you in today. Certainly appreciate it.
You bet.